Many men admit that after a breakup, they feel an overwhelming urge to reach out to their ex. There's this strong temptation to send a text, maybe a short message, a casual happy birthday, or a simple how have you been. On the surface, it feels harmless, but the real question is, when is it appropriate, and when does it only make things worse? First, let's address one of the most common illusions. A lot of men believe that if a month or two goes by and they simply reach out, everything will magically reset. They imagine their ex will suddenly remember the good times, realize what she's missing, and come back. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. A text, no matter how thoughtful, doesn't rebuild a broken relationship. This also applies to holidays and birthdays. Sometimes men use these dates as an excuse to reach out. I'll just send her a quick greeting and see how she responds. But in reality, it rarely leads anywhere meaningful. If we break it down, most situations fall into two categories. The first category, the man doesn't actually plan to get back with his ex. In that case, why reach out at all? Contacting her without the intention of reconciliation only reopens old wounds and keeps him stuck in the past. The second category, the man truly does want her back. And here's where the biggest mistake happens. He believes the responsibility lies with him to make it happen. In reality, it doesn't work that way. If she genuinely wants to come back, the first move has to come from her. When a man tries to push, convince, or prove that he's changed, it usually has the opposite effect. To her, it looks like neediness, and nothing kills attraction faster than neediness. Men often go through a wave-like cycle of emotions after a breakup. At first, they make mistake after mistake, constant texting, calling, begging for another chance. Then, after enough rejection, they finally step back, thinking they've calmed down. They read a few articles online, watched some videos, and convinced themselves they've learned their lesson. That's when they fall into the trap. I've changed. I can reach out now. And this time it'll be different. But when they send that message, the response is usually the same cold silence or indifference. There's another common scenario. The breakup was tied to a specific issue. Maybe he never proposed. Maybe he didn't give her enough attention. Or maybe he made another mistake. The man then carries guilt, telling himself, she still loves me, she was just upset. If I fix this one thing, we can be happy again. But here's the truth, if she truly wanted to be with him, she wouldn't have left in the first place. A woman doesn't walk away from someone she deeply values. Many men convince themselves that the breakup happened because of one particular mistake. For example, he might believe that the only reason she left was because he didn't offer marriage, and that family was her top priority. But more often than not, that's just an illusion. In reality, marriage talk was sometimes only a way for her to keep the relationship moving forward, not a true reflection of her values. And when he finally does propose, hoping to fix everything, it's already too late. The timing has passed, and the gesture no longer has meaning. That's why it's so important to let go of guilt and the fantasy that everything can be repaired with a single act. Time alone doesn't heal this. Women don't wake up one day realizing, I made a mistake, I should go back. Once the emotional connection is gone, it doesn't return, just because a man decides to send a text. Another mistake is acting on impulse. A man convinces himself he's fine, that he has control now, that he's moved on. But within a day or two, emotions resurface, and he feels the urge to text again. Yesterday, he swore he was done, and today he's back to searching for a reason to reach out. Decisions made in that state aren't rational. They only make things worse. What's interesting is that men often suffer through breakups almost as much as women, sometimes even more. On the outside, they might appear calm, but internally they're struggling. The problem is, instead of following a steady plan, they bounce between extremes, cutting off contact one day, then breaking down and reaching out the next. So, when the urge to text an ex feels overwhelming, there are really only two paths. The first path is to go ahead and send that message. The man will quickly see that nothing changes, and his illusions will be shattered. Painful? Yes, but it can be a lesson. The second path is to resist the urge, knowing ahead of time how it will end. This path is harder, but it protects his dignity and helps him move on faster. Every message sent out of weakness only digs the hole deeper. And the sooner a man understands this, the sooner he can truly let go. The past can't be forced back into place. The only real option is to learn from it and move forward. Strong men make smart choices. Subscribe now and level up your mindset.